So, managed to pop another inner tube. Also, it's absolutely crazy because last video we said thank you guys so much for 1,500 subs. We're already past 2,700. I guess with that number also comes some scammers. I know you guys have been talking about it in the comments, but pretty much if somebody emails you or comments to you with our picture that's not us, telling you want a giveaway, you didn't win a giveaway. They're trying to scam you. Like, I can't believe that this is happening to our channel, man. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support. Seriously, like, this is crazy. We also learned this cool little trick we wanted to show you guys. Check that out. I got some new bars and some new grips on here. It looks a whole lot better. So we got our bikes a few months ago and we've been trying to decide how we want to build these things. There are so many options. It makes it hard to decide. But in these past months, we have done extensive research into what is best. And today we're going to talk about from A to Z everything you need to know to have a 100-mile-an-hour Sur-on. So before we talk about how to make these things go fast, we need to talk about some things that you have to do to the bike before you make it go faster than stock.
Some of the first things that we've come to realize you're going to need to upgrade when it comes to making this bike faster is first the brake pads. You're probably going to need to get yourself a set of wheels and tires, or at least a new set of tires, just because the stock ones aren't very good. Honestly, we cannot stress this enough about how badly you'll need to get yourself some new brake pads. These are the stock brake pads that we got, and they don't even stop our bikes anymore.
Yeah, like all it does is squeak now. That's about it.
We can make a song, but we can't stop.
One last thing before we talk about how to make the bikes faster, and that is you may notice that the flow wheels and tires are no longer on my bike, and that is because I popped the last tube I had. So yeah, waiting for some more tubes to come in. They'll be back on the bike soon. All right, so the first thing we're going to get into here is all the different options for controllers that you have on this bike. Now, for those of you who may not know what controllers do, it's basically a tune for the bike that allows you to go into an app or whatever the software the tuning company has and change every parameter of the bike. So the first option for controllers is what I'm running here, and that's the eMoto Bros BAC 4000. And in my opinion, this is probably the easiest / best plug and play kit you can get for the bike. The second option for controllers is the GLE BAC 4000 and 8000. Now, I've heard some very good things about them. I have no experience with them myself, but their app also looks very well. They're pretty much right up there with eMoto Bros on having a top tier BAC 4000. Now, the next BAC 4000 / 8000 kit that we've been seeing a lot about is the Motoclops kit. They came out, well, I think they've been around for a little bit actually, but I've seen so many people talking about them in the Facebook groups recently. They've been blowing up because they're actually in stock. You could go and order a Motoclops BAC 4000 or 8000 probably right now and not have to wait for them to come in stock like all the other brands. The next kit is the Zion bike kit. Now, this kit, unfortunately, I don't have too much information on. This was the first kit that I saw of the BAC 4000. I do believe they're usually in stock, but like I said, I don't know too much about this kit. Haven't seen too many people talk about it on Facebook, so I can't vouch for them. But the Zion BAC 4000 8000 is a kit that I see people get occasionally. The next controller option is the Sur-on XX controller. Now, this is pretty much a limited edition controller and hard to get your hands on. However, you can plug it up to a stock bike because this came on the special edition Sur-on like XX edition or whatever, the ludicrous editions, and it's pretty much just a 6,000 watt controller. You can plug it up to a stock battery and just run more power out of the gate, and you don't have to worry about anything with it. Well, so the next two controllers are pretty similar because they're very hard to get your hands on. I believe they're both Russian made controllers. The first one is the Syntec and the second one is the Nuclear. Now, both of these controllers I have heard amazing things about, but I've seen people selling these controllers upwards of $2,000 in the Facebook groups because you can't get a hold of them anymore. Although they're awesome controllers, I would highly recommend picking yourself up, you know, a controller like this one for closer to $800 instead of spending $2,000 plus for something that does the same thing.
As you guys know, my bike is stock. I personally think I'm going to go with eMoto Bros. They seem to have the best app and the most accessibility features within.
want to talk about is all the different battery options for these bikes, because the battery, once you start changing these out, that is where the bike really starts to change up. So first off, about batteries, just real quick, you obviously have the 60-volt batteries, like the one that comes in the bike, and then you also have the option for a 72-volt battery. 72-volt battery does require a controller, an aftermarket controller, to be on the bike to be able to take advantage of it. Actually, to even be able to run a 72-volt battery, you need a controller. So if you don't want to get a controller and you want to keep the stock one, go with the 60-volt battery. So the first option for batteries is Chai batteries. Now, we have a little bit of experience with them. We'll go more in depth in another video, but Chai batteries is, from what we've heard, supposed to be one of the best battery manufacturers for these bikes. They make 60-volt and 72-volt batteries in all different types of sizes, all the way up to a 72-volt 60-amp-hour battery. Like, that thing would last you forever, but it's also like this tall. The next battery brand is EBMX. Now, I've also heard many good things about EBMX, but I have heard that they do not use as good of cells as Chai battery. Now, I've never talked to EBMX to confirm that. If you have more information on that, let me know down in the comments below. But if you'd like to get yourself a little bit of a cheaper battery, EBMX makes the perfect 60-volt and 72-volt batteries for you. The next battery brand is JW batteries. Now, I've heard a bunch of awesome things about JW batteries. They're pretty new in the game, to my knowledge. They might have actually been around for a while, but I'm pretty sure they're new in the Suron game at least. They also make 60 and 72-volt batteries. They have sick metal cases to protect the outside of the battery, and they are a very good option if you're looking for a pretty well-built battery. So the last brand that we know about that's pretty reputable that makes batteries is Lightspeed. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure Lightspeed batteries is under a different name now, but they make 60 and 72-volt batteries. Long story short though, I've heard so many good things about them, but in the recent days I've heard so many bad things about their customer service that I just don't think it would be, well, I'm not going to tell you guys what you should and should not order, but me personally, I would probably not order a battery from Lightspeed, because I've heard people waiting over 6 months and their battery still hasn't even shipped or updated anything about it. So leave that one up to you guys.
When it comes to the battery, I'm still unsure on which route I would like to go. The reason being is because you do have a 60-volt and you do have 72-volt. One's going to give you distance and speed. The other one may give you speed and not as much distance. And I just don't know which one I want to get yet. If you guys have any suggestions for the specific battery I should get, leave a comment down below. My ass crack started hanging out. Oh, what is that?
All right, now the last set of mods that we want to talk about, the absolute finishing touches to make this thing just a beast, is the motors. Now, for those of you who may not know, stock motor does its job, but once you say add a 72-volt battery and a controller and push this thing to about 10 kilowatts, you could easily melt the motors if it gets too hot. Like, when I say easy, I mean the temperature climbs fast when you're holding full throttle. So just know that the motor is a weak point. So to my knowledge, there's really only 2 aftermarket motors for this bike. The first one is the QS series motors. Now, I don't know too much about them, unfortunately. I don't think they're fully out yet, but I've seen a lot of talks, and I'm pretty sure you can pre-order one right now. It's the QS 165 motor. It's rated at a much higher kilowatt and everything, and from what I've seen, for the money, if the motor is what it's supposed to be, it'll be a worthwhile motor. Now, the second, and in what is, in my opinion, the best option for an aftermarket motor, it just came out a few weeks ago. It's called the KO motor. Now, if you guys are in the Facebook groups, you've seen all the controversy going on with these things. There's so many people talking trash about them because there's not yet to be out a video of one of these bikes running at 30,000 watts with that motor in. But yeah, the KO motor, it's supposed to be able to safely go up to like 30,000 or 35,000 watts, 30 to 35 kilowatt. It can pretty much run twice as hot as the stock motor without any problems. Like, it is an absolute beast. It's still being tested and tuned right now, but I have a good feeling that once the tunes are dialed in, the bike is going to be a whole new bike with that motor installed. Now I will also note that that motor comes with its own controller, and as of right now you can't run a BAC 4000 or 8000 with that motor, but it's a combo kit, comes with motor and controller. And honestly, if the tuning goes well with these things, I would like to pick one up in the future.
For right now, a motor's not something that I'm even really considering, but if I were to choose one, I'd probably go with the KO motor.
Now that pretty much sums it up for all the power mods on these bikes. What route you go really depends on what build you're looking for, and now we're going to hop into some examples of builds using the parts that we just talked about.
First build that we're going to discuss is more of an off-road build if you wish. You probably want a 72 volt battery, BAC 4000, and a motor's not really necessary unless you plan on taking it somewhere over 10 kilowatts. As my bike is mostly stock for right now, I am trying to take it along the lines of the next example build that we're going to talk about, which of course is the dual sport build. A good controller for this would be the XX controller. A good battery would probably be 60 volt, 53 amp hour, and stock motor should be okay with those parts. The last build that we want to talk about is more of a street style build, which is what Ethan's trying to go for. I think the best setup for a street style build would be the KO motor combo that comes with the controller and a 72 volt battery. The milliamp hours is really just dependent on how long or how much range you want for the battery, and if you don't mind altering the battery tray. With the KO motor having the ability to go up to 30 kilowatts, that's the only real way that you're gonna be able to ride this bike over 80 to 100 miles an hour.
Now with that being said, we're both still trying to figure out what route we want to go with our bike. I've got a pretty clear idea with the route that I want to go. I feel like Dakota's got a pretty good idea with the route he wants to go as well. If you guys have any ideas of how we should build our bike, let us know down below.
Also, let us know what build you guys have on your bike.
If you guys want to see us throw the eMoto Bros controller on my bike, make sure you click here. Peace out. We'll see you guys in the next one.